Hello, welcome. If you are new here, I am Jennifer. I am a travel advisor specializing in Disney vacations, a high school English teacher, and a mom of 3. So this is the second video in my Disney Planning 101 series. If you are wondering what this series is, it's basically to help you gain the building blocks to build confidence for you to plan your next Disney vacation, especially if you're a newbie. So I want to start with, like, the first episode was the very basics. I did a Q&A of common, where do I even start questions, to hopefully answer some of those heavy hitting questions when you're first deciding, oh, I think I want to go to Disney, to then talk about, what you should look into and research, how do you book things, that type of thing, as well as leading up to my family's going to be going on a Disney vacation here in February. So I do kind of want to go more vlog form and show you what my prepping, what my packing looks like, as well as my family trips. So to help you out and maybe find and have a little fun with that. So without further ado, let's talk resorts. So the first thing you really should be researching and looking into is, where do you want to stay? And a big question is, okay, what's the benefit of staying on property at Disney versus staying off property? And I think that there are several. I mean, the first off, you are in that Disney bubble, right? That you have that magical feel. My family has stayed off, we've stayed on property, and we prefer staying on. Not only because of all the benefits, just that Disney bubbly feel. However, we have stayed off and it was fine. We actually had kind of a bad experience. So we've only stayed off property once in my adult life with my family. We thought we were going to save a couple bucks and it didn't work out. We booked through a third-party app, and when we got there, they didn't have a reservation. Luckily, the resort we were staying at was very understanding, worked something out, even matched the price that we found it at, and long story short, it worked out. I just wish I wouldn't have planned it that way, and I wish we just would have stayed on property if I would have known what I know now. Because I grew up, we went to Disney. We weren't a huge Disney family, but we went a couple times, and I thought, oh, my knowledge is good enough, and to bring my own family. And it was when my kids were younger, we were younger. We've been back, dozens and dozens of times since, and I am, glad that now we are staying on property and we have a lot more knowledge. All right, so fast forward. Anyway, so stay on property. So some of the perks that you may have. First off, transportation, right? That you don't even have to think about, okay, I have to go get the car and drive over to property or drive over to the parks. Just hop in the bus or the boat or the monorail. Don't even have to think about it. Also, like, some people question, like, well, how do I get from MCO, the airport, to the property? Gone are the days of the Net Magical Express, unfortunately. However, there are third-party companies such as Mears Connect that are very inexpensive that will shuttle you to and from property, as well as there are other third-party either shuttle or ride options. So I'd highly recommend Mears. That's what my family usually uses. It's easy. I know a lot of people sometimes complain that you might have to stop at other resorts. We've never had over like a 40-minute ride on Mears. It's half hour from the airport to property. So it's never been bad. We've done it a lot, and we've always had really good drivers, very good service, and everything's just been seamless. So I highly recommend them. And anyways, so yeah, transportation, that's huge. Another big benefit of staying on property is that you get 30-minute early entry into the parks. And I know that might not sound like a whole ton, but when you're talking those heavy hitting attractions, you can get those out of the way. You can ride those right before anybody else come. So just Disney resort guests. So even though it might seem like, okay, there's still a lot of people, it goes a lot faster because you already got that ride out of the way right away in the morning before the other guests, off-property guests, were able to come and ride them. And even if you don't want to do heavy hitting attractions, you get a ton of smaller attractions done as well. And sometimes, like my family, we've done multiple like heavy hitting and smaller attractions. So for example, our last trip to Disney in August, we rode at Magic Kingdom Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, the Teacups, and Haunted Mansion, all with an early entry. We got all three of those done. Teacups, there's usually never a wait. It's usually just walk on anyways, but it was still nice. And I think, oh, and also, take that back, we did 4 because we also got on after Haunted Mansion. We saw that there's only like a 10-minute wait. It was like actually 5 minutes to go on to It's a Small World. So there you go. You can get a lot of rides, and usually Seven Dwarfs Mine Train has like a 40-45 minute plus wait. So we were able to do all of that between, it was slightly over early entry time, but I think it wasn't like, I think it might have been like 45 minutes it took us to ride all those attractions. So it was like 8:15 by the time we got off of It's a Small World. Anyways, I digress. What else? Oh, you also get 7 days in advance to book your lightning lanes if you are purchasing multi-pass or single pass. Basically, their fat ride, skip the line system. You get 7 days in advance to book out your rides versus off-property only has 3. You also have a benefit of booking Disney dining reservations 60 days in advance, as well as your magical extras such as Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and like the droid building, or like the lightsaber experience. And those are all 60 days in advance, whereas off-property only has the 30-day window. Also, some deluxe resorts, another benefit, they have like after hours where they can stay in the parks at night, like at Magic Kingdom, and you see that at Magic Kingdom often as well as Hollywood Studios. And the parks are, for one thing, are really beautiful at night, and if you have older kids, you can get a lot done. I've heard, we've never done the after hour events because we have younger kids right now, so, but we have done the parties, and I mean the parks are beautiful and you can get a lot of rides done. So I have a feeling when I've heard, it's typically even kind of like less crowded than even like a party night, which is nice. All right, sorry, I made myself some notes here. So I was just looking, oh, you also have the benefit of having the option of having a Disney dining plan, which allows you to prepay for your food. And actually, sometimes it might be slightly saving. So with the dining plan, it's not like a huge savings for every single person. It might not be right for everyone. However, if you have a bigger group like my family, we're a family of 5, and if we are wanting to do at least like one character meal and maybe one other sit down, it often just pays for itself. So like our last trip, I meant to add up, but I know we actually ended up saving money getting the dining plan than if we were to have paid just out of pocket at the parks. And I wish I would have, like, I kept my receipts, and I think I still have them because I was going to calculate it all out and see, because my husband and I were like, okay, we definitely would have spent so much more if, and I mean, we did spend a little bit out of pocket, but it was still going to be a savings for my family. And another nice benefit of staying on property, you have kind of time to pay off your resort. You do not have to pay off your stay until 30 days in advance of your trip. If you are booking a Disney package, so that is your resort hotel along with your park tickets. And it's just super, it's nice because it's like, okay, I have a built-in payment plan. Oh, like you can pay monthly or up until the 30 days of your trip. It just makes it easy and to kind of budget things out for you and your family. Another huge benefit are some promotions that Disney might just have for resort guests. So for example, in 2025, some like deluxe resorts or select deluxe resorts will receive free meal plans. So that's huge, right? Where it might be making you question, oh, should I stay on property or should I change from a value to a different type of resort or to the deluxe resorts? You know, I'm really digressing. I'm sorry, guys. It's late and I'm like, oh, end of the day. But I wanted to just get this filmed so I can get this out. Well, when you're watching it, it'll be tomorrow morning. And it's just getting late here. So basically, those are the biggest benefits I see staying on property. I mean, let me know if you can think of any more, but it's just nice. Even though some of those might seem like smaller details, such as like the bubble, but it can make a huge difference, right? And also the cost, you can really find pretty across the board, off property to on property, similar cost. All right, so moving on, what are the different resort types? There are value resorts that typically start at $150 per night, moderate resorts that start out about $250 per night, deluxe resorts that start at $350 per night, and deluxe villas that start at $450 per night. So really their main difference between these resorts, first off, your transportation options, dining options. So there might be more restaurants or cafes or bars. There may be some more stores, like I can't speak, sorry. So your gift shops, different pool offerings, such as like the difference between like the beach club with the nice sandy bottom pool to like all-star sports. Like the pools are elevated when you go up to like the deluxe level. And there are like other amenities such as like a spa, or at Fort Wilderness, you have the stables that house all the Disney horses that you can go and look at, and different activities that are varying between the resorts. Another resort type is a Good Neighbor resort. However, these resorts are not owned by Disney. These are resorts that meet certain like criteria, such as like location, rooms, services, transportation, like if they offer their own shuttle, as well as the quality of the resort. Not all of these resorts for Good Neighbor, however, get the same benefits as staying on property. So be very aware and make sure that you are asking your resort, if you choose to stay at a Good Neighbor, what amenities are offered or what benefits are offered that you get as a just Good Neighbor. Because I will tell you right now, not every single Good Neighbor hotel gets, for example, like 30-minute early entry. So just make sure that you look into that if you are booking this on your own. And that's also why I highly recommend booking through a travel advisor. Right, so what are the different resort locations? So there's the Magic Kingdom, Seven Seas Lagoon area of resorts. And that will have your Fort Wilderness, your Wilderness, the Polynesian, the Contemporary, the Grand Floridian. I feel like I'm missing some here. Sorry if I missed one on the list, but those are just some examples. You have your Animal Kingdom Resort location, which is Animal Kingdom Lodge. You have your Epcot area resorts, such as your Yacht Club, your Beach Club, and the Boardwalk, which are all walking distance to Epcot, as well as you can it's a little bit longer of a walk, but you can make it to Hollywood Studios as well, or just take the Skyliner over, and we'll talk about transportation in a little bit. So that's your Epcot area resorts. Oh, as well as, I'm missing a couple. I believe Caribbean Beach Resort is considered Epcot and Riviera. I don't think those are considered. Anyways, I am digressing. I told you, I'm just out of it tonight. And then you also have your Disney Springs area resort that you're by. So Disney Springs basically is Disney's shopping and dining, like entertainment district. And you have Saratoga Springs, Coronado Springs, Old Key West, as well as the your Port Orleans French Quarter and Riverside resorts are all a part of that Disney Springs area. And I would highly recommend looking at maps. Like once you have decided, oh, I want to go to Disney, download the My Disney Experience map. And if you kind of want to look at locations of the different resorts, you can, or you can look online on the Disney website as well, just to see, because that might be a huge factor for when you are picking your resort is the location. So for example, if you're wanting to go to Magic Kingdom the most, like 2 days or more, you might want to consider a Magic Kingdom area resort. Or you're going to just be going to Epcot, you might want to just consider an Epcot area resort to make it easier for your family and a little bit more of an enjoyable experience. And a lot of times, like, it's kind of nice just being able to walk right over to the park and walk back to your resort and be just super close, that if you want to take a midday break, you don't feel as bad about it because you're not really having to go very far. However, like, going back to your resort is never, I guess, in my opinion, it just never takes out that much time. My family, we typically like to open the park and close the park, but we don't feel bad if we do have to go back for a midday break. We've done it both ways. And when we do go back, I feel like the transportation isn't like a big time suck, for example. So that's never really too concerning to me, at least. All right, so next, what are some of the resort amenities? So if I decide to book a Disney resort, what might I be experiencing there? Well, first off, they do have movies under the stars every night, as well as bonfires, and that's at all levels of resort. Every single resort has those. There's various other activities that are provided by cast members, such as like trivia by the pool, and like that's a lot of fun. They might do like little dance parties or like an exercise class. I've done a lot of just fun things at the different resorts, and they also have like pay extra type of activities, such as like tie-dyeing a Mickey tea, little craft, or at like Fort Wilderness, you can ride a horse, like for your kid. There's also bike rentals, there's fishing at some. So those are just a few examples, and the amenities do change depending on resort. So you do want to look at, okay, what are some offerings if I want a resort day that I can be able to do? And I know that's important to a lot of families, as far as having like kind of that entertainment. Oh, hi, sorry, my cat. This is like filming number 2 of this. I was gonna keep going, but my dog ran over my stand. My kids decided like to throw a toy lizard like right at my face. I was gonna keep going, but it was just like, no, I had it at one point. So like you couldn't make it up. Anyways, so I just restarted because my eyes totally digressed, and I'm like, just have to start over. Hit the reset. All right, so my next topic are, what are the different resort transportation options to and from the parks? So first off, all resorts have the Disney bus, and I know they get a bad rap, but really, I guess I don't mind the Disney bus. I enjoy them. I don't know. I don't mind them. Anyways, I never really find them to be a nuisance. The only time is like after fireworks at Magic Kingdom. And my family, we even wait. We'll do like a couple more rides and not go with the mad dash out of the park. And sometimes, depending on your resort, you might be waiting a while because they don't seem to run the shuttles very often, especially like if you're staying like value, if that makes sense. Like you can see, I don't know, maybe that's just in my mind, and I don't know, it just seems like, anyways, we have waited longer. So sometimes I'll just book a minivan, and kind of, which is another option while we were talking about transportation, of minivans. Minivans are extra. They're provided through Lyft, and they are nice though, especially like Magic Kingdom after fireworks. I'll splurge on that, and I can decide when I want them to come pick me up. And sometimes after a long day with little kids, it's worth the splurge. I think typically after fireworks, I've seen kind of the average cost around $40, $50, which I know is a pricey ride, but sometimes, it might be worth it for you and your family. All right, but the resorts that only provide busing as their transportation option is Animal Kingdom, as well as the All-Star Resorts and Coronado Springs. So those only have buses going to the resorts and Disney Springs. Then there is the Skyliner, which is like the gondola system. The Riviera, Caribbean Beach Resort, and Art of Animation and Pop Century are all on the Skyliner route, and they can bring you to Epcot as well as to Hollywood Studios, and then you can take buses to the other resorts. And then you have the monorail, which is the Contemporary, which is the original monorail resort, the Polynesian, and the Grand Floridian are all on that monorail loop. There's also boats to Magic Kingdom from the Wilderness Lodge and Fort Wilderness, as well as a lot of those Seven Seas Lagoon will have, like the Grand Floridian, you can often take a boat across too. So if you're in that Magic Kingdom resort loop, a lot of those will have the boats. You can also boat to Disney Springs from Old Key West, Port Orleans French Quarter, and Port Orleans Riverside, Saratoga Springs. Also, are on the boat. It's just kind of nice, especially going, like I enjoy staying on one of the Disney Springs properties just to boat over to Disney Springs. There's just something magical about it and just really relaxing. I get a 20-minute little ferry ride, for example, if I'm going from Port Orleans Riverside over to the resorts. Or not to the resorts, from your resort over to Disney Springs. All right, now, the other option is just plain walking, right? So from most Epcot resort area hotels, you can walk to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios can be a little bit more of a trek, but you can get there if you want to. So you can walk, and it's a very quick walk. Beach Club, Yacht Club, and the Boardwalk are all easily walkable to Epcot. You can walk from the Swan Reserve Hotel, which is a good neighbor, but it's like a 16-minute walk, so it's, I guess, really up to your family. I mean, my family, that's not a huge deal for, but it's still a long day where you're going to be walking all day, so you want to keep that in mind. Another thing that you might be thinking is the resort size. I know a lot of people are afraid of these big sprawling resorts. I've really only thought that 2 resorts were sprawling, and that is Disney Saratoga Springs and Old Key West. So my family, we haven't stayed in absolutely every single Disney resort, but we've either visited, toured, or have eaten at pretty much all of them. So, and it's our goal to stay at all of them, so which is really fun. But we've stayed at most, and the Saratoga Springs and Old Key West were built basically to be more like the DVC, so Disney Vacation Club timeshare. So larger rooms, multi-family room suites, that type of thing. So they're bigger rooms, and they're also offering just more buildings too. So they both have like internal bus loops, but I guess I just never find that to be like a nuisance or anything. Like, all the resorts are very walkable. You have the option once you get there to be transported with your bags to your room, as well as with the internal bus loop. You can just catch that to get to the front of your resort, whatever, where I guess I just don't find it to be a nuisance. I can see where, if you have mobility issues, that would be, and just to kind of keep that in mind. Otherwise, I really don't think of too many resorts as being overly sprawling, and I feel like Disney does a really good job of providing like quiet pools at those bigger resorts and just different areas for you to go, that you don't have to always be in the main area, and it's kind of fun to go out and explore the other areas. All right, so I think that is all I was going to actually cover for today. I'm sorry, I thought it was. If you have any questions, though, make sure you ask that down below, as well as if you've made it this far. And trust me, I've been ranty tonight, and my energy level is just I've had it with my day. I'm ready for bed, guys. Anyways, you are part of like the secret end of the video club if you've made it this far. Little drop down like a little hotel emoji if you've made it this far, or a castle emoji for Disney Resort. And if you have any questions, leave that down in the comments, or anything that you're wanting to add, as well as if you are interested in planning your Disney vacation, make sure you go in my description down below. I do have the link to my my form for you to fill out. I am completely free of charge. Disney pays me a commission to help families plan magical vacations. All right, guys, so I guess that's all I have for you tonight. Thanks for watching, and bye. Have a good one. Until next time.